So whenever a new season drops, we always get a new influx of weapons. Of course, you have your seasonal weapons. Generally, there'll be a new Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard weapon. But we also get a decent influx of world drop weapons as well. And this season, I'm talking about a world drop auto rifle, but it's for good reason. Because the auto rifle that we're going to be talking about today, the Ros Arago IV, is kind of a banger. The reason why is because, believe it or not, this season, they brought back Breakneck. And what did Breakneck have on it that made it so darn good in the past? That's right, the perk of Onslaught. What if I told you they brought back Onslaught to a few weapons? Yeah, that's right. This auto rifle is one of them. That's why Onslaught was in the thumbnail. Now, what does Onslaught do? Onslaught is basically Rampage, but instead of getting increased damage, you get increased rate of fire. And just like Rampage, it stacks up to a maximum of 3 stacks, and it lasts for 4.5 seconds. Now, real quick, let's just look at how each stack works and how much of a benefit you get. The first stack will give you a 16%, the second will give you a 28%, and then the third will give you a 37% decreased firing delay, meaning at 3 stacks of Onslaught, if we do some quick math, this bad boy is going to be having about a 822 RPM. That is really fast. Alright, this thing's basically at 3 stacks of Onslaught is almost shooting as quick as 900 RPM SMGs. But this is an auto rifle, which is pretty disgusting, but in a good way. This weapon reminds me a lot of the Atheon's Epilogue from Destiny 1, if that gun was actually good. Because this gun's actually good. Now, let's go ahead and throw up this gun's entire perk pool real quick, just so you have an idea of what to combine with Onslaught, as well as some of the other 4th column perks if for some reason you don't want Onslaught. I don't know why you wouldn't, but the 3rd column, some of the main perks that you could look out for, maybe Repulsor Brace. Defeating a Void Diva target will grant you an overshield, a little bit of survivability, you know, hey, just pointing it out there. We do have the tried and true subsistence, and because this is an auto rifle, you're going to refill 17% of your magazine on kills with this weapon, which is really nice. Definitely one of the better perks in the 3rd column. We also have the good old rewind rounds. Upon emptying the magazine, you're going to refill 60% of the number of hits landed into the magazine from reserves. This will help you just shoot the weapon for longer periods of time, especially while you got your ×3 Onslaught. This could definitely help just dump out even more bullets in that time period. Now, there's a new perk in this 3rd column called Permeability. Using your class ability changes this weapon's damage type to match your subclass until you stow the weapon, which could definitely be at the bare minimum unique. I'm not going to recommend it, but I at least want to mention this perk. Now, in the 4th column, of course, Onslaught. This is the main perk I'm going to recommend. Onslaught, hello. However, if you wanted to, you could maybe try out Golden Tricorn. Maybe Surrounded if you want the big time 40% damage buff. But I feel like by far and away, the best option in the 4th column is Onslaught. The role that you're seeing my auto rifle have in the background gameplay is rewind rounds and Onslaught. And this thing is an absolute demon. Like, an absolute maddening, fast firing auto rifle. Now, at base, this bad boy is a adaptive frame, which means by default, this bad boy is a 600 RPM auto rifle. But because of Onslaught, you can get this bad boy up to over an 800 RPM, which is awesome because we don't have auto rifles that shoot that fast in this game, or at least we didn't, because you gotta keep in mind that rapid fire frame auto rifles have an RPM of 720. Meaning, this bad boy has higher base impact damage than those auto rifles, and it can shoot faster than them with the help of Onslaught. Pretty darn insane. It feels really, really good, especially on void builds as well. Of course, the only problem with this auto rifle is nothing to do with itself and its core. It's the way you have to go about in obtaining it. A world drop. RNG. Is it in your favor? I don't know. I had this one literally just drop while I was doing the new dungeon. It's not like you can go to the gunsmith and focus it either. The only weapons you can focus at the gunsmith are old and, with all due respect, pretty darn mid. You can also hope the freaking Cryptarch comes to your aid and gives you one out of one of your Ingrams. But if you get one of these auto rifles to drop, definitely check to see if it has Onslaught. And if it has Onslaught, go give it a spin. This thing is an absolute demon. It's a monster. It shoots really fast with that Onslaught perk. And the fact that it's void means that we finally have a good void auto rifle to replace the gnawing hunger. Sorry, bro, but that age-old bond was not cutting it at all. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the Ros Arago IV down in the comments below. If you ever want to get your games in DLC for a cheaper price, you make sure you hit up Instant Gaming, top link in the description. They're just trying to save you money on games in the DLC. And who knows, maybe someday we'll get a solar auto rifle with Onslaught. You guys be safe, take care, consider subscribing, and I'll see your beautiful faces in the next one. Adios!